Okay, welcome to episode 1. Purge is going to teach me how to get Immortal here. Purge gamers, hello.
I'm gonna try to teach you how to get like Divine 6 first or something.
Purge is going to teach me how to get a number. He's going to make me an even higher number than him, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if that one's gonna happen. Let's start with a descriptor of your skills as a Dota player. I think you are very good at casting spells. I think you definitely understand team fights really well. Like you understand the flow of team fights. That's why you were able to hit Divine 1 without too much difficulty years ago. I genuinely believe that. And I think that's why most people are confused about you as a Dota player, because you are not very good at last hitting. Your item builds are wacky, and your hero pool is a little bit limited, you could argue. But I think you cast your spells really well. That's why you are the rank that you are. And you also rally the team extremely well to force them to do things, whereas other players wouldn't be able to do that as convincingly. And as a result, like some games you end games and get wins. But you're a little reliant, I think, on your play style and your understanding of it. And that's slightly what hurts you in different settings. If correct me if I'm wrong, but generally in the past you were always like, we need to end the game like before 40 minutes was a lot of your game push. Like you would push the games to end early because you didn't have as much confidence in late game scenarios. Correct?
You're correct. And I will say that I have changed a lot since I got Divine. I knew that I probably was not actually Divine ranked, so I stopped playing ranked. I was scared to play ranked again from my spamming with Omni Knight. But I will say I have played a lot more since I got that ranking, and I think I have actually improved in ways that you've taught me for my early game. But when it comes to actually, I don't know how to carry. I don't know good itemization. You're right, I'm not a great last hitter, but I do excel in fighting. I like team fights. I think I'm good at team fights, and I can navigate them real well. So I would like, this is going to be very serious, Purge. I'm not going to give you any flack. I want to learn it, and your word is law. Last time we tried this, I fought against you on everything. I know you're better than me now in some ways.
Now, or do you mean like now you realize I've always been better than you? Which one?
No, before I did not realize you were better than me.
Really?
I thought that, yes. I thought you sucked before. But
really?
Now, well, sometimes you play carry and you don't hit the fucking racks, and you just leave and go get bounty runes instead of actually doing anything at 80 minthat's. But now I know you're technically better. I grew up Purge.
By all means, some of those times I'm definitely making mistakes. Like that's why most people have MMR confusion. They say like, yo, my teammates suck ass. I'm not increasing because my teammates are bad. It's because it's very easy to notice the mistakes that your allies are making. That's all it is. Like I can notice the mistakes of my allies, and I will be more critical of them than the mistakes that I make. And so, and sometimes like you'll notice mistakes that, like for example, if you're laning with me and you're playing carry, I'm gonna notice that you're missing tons of last hits, but you're gonna notice that I don't know, I cast my spells like shit, or I don't show up to fights, and we're both gonna think that we're right. I'm gonna be like, my carry sucks, he doesn't last hit. You're gonna be like, my support sucks, he doesn't know when to pull, or he doesn't know how to cast his spells. It's like a very common MMR thing that leads people to thinking they're in this like MMR chasm that they can't get out of. They're like, I got a tweet this morning. Some guy was like, yo, supporting an Archon, it's literally impossible to rank up. And I'm like, I know I could sit down instantly and like hard carry while buying wards as a 5, like I know obviously I'm much higher than Archon, but it's like, but if this guy was better, he would win games, anyways, I
will say one other thing that I need to work on is trust. I originally calibrated at 1,900 MMR, and everyone around me was terrible, and I knew that. That was part of getting better, is to know that everyone around me is worse, so I need to be the best. Now, that's not particularly true. When you're up at like Divine, there are people that are just better than you, and you have to give them gold and support them and be nice. So that's something that I've been struggling with that I need to get better at, is actually trusting my teammates, because I came from a land of no trust, Purge, and now I must trust them.
Have you considered also not massively flaming them when they make one mistake or don't show up to one team fight?
Yes.
Because you're definitely tilting them. Like morale is certainly an aspect. I mean, you understand morale, but like that shit gets me going, man. If I make a mistake, or like if a team fight goes poorly, you look around the map, you're like, who's not here? Who's not? That guy. And then you open your fucking mouth and you make that guy feel like shit.
Let's not talk about
and it lowers
your mouth after you die. King of doing that.
Okay,
but
that's true. That's true. Fair.
I will say that people play unranked for fun, and something that I like doing in unranked is busting people's balls. I'm actually very positive.
Being fucking
ranked.
Toxic, you mean? I think
being toxic is my version of having fun in unranked. In ranked, I'm the sweetest boy. I'm your psychologist, and then at the end of the game, I'll type a bunch of shit, and then I'll be done. But I'm a very nice boy in ranked, but I haven't played ranked in like a year and a half, so you will see a difference there.
Okay. All right.
Being toxic is fun.
Okay, so what I want to focus on
Yes.
is your laning stage, because
Okay.
I think there's other areas of the game that you could learn better for sure, but I think the laning stage is the one that you're like closest to being really good at. Do you remember the game the other day when I played Undying and you were playing offlane Necro, and you said like what happened this game? You said like the game was really easy. The lane was easy.
You were amazing. That you ran at him. You didn't die. Your health was super high the whole time. You forced 2 people out of the lane, and I was free farming, and I was astounded. I would like to learn that, sir.
Okay, so your understanding of laning stage, it follows a simple pattern. It is that your favorite way to harass people is to use spells on them, which is why you buy Soul Ring, because it's one of the best mana efficient items in the game. You get a shitload of mana for the gold cost, and it allows you to continuously spam spells against your opponents, which does what thing?
It lowers all of their, utilities. They got to buy more health. They got to get out of lane. It's great. It's a economic drain. That's one of my favorite things to do in a meta. That's why I play techies. It's not about kills. It's about economy and time drain. That's how you win Dota, in my opinion.
Exactly. And what I call that is trading. What you're doing is you're spending your time, your mana, your gold to trade your health and mana for their health and mana. Ideally, at a better trade, you want to deal more damage to them than they deal to you, ideally. Unless you're a 5, then sometimes it's fine, right? You're kind of like trading your resources. Like in that game I was playing Undying, I was trading my time, my experience gain, my gold, my mana, in exchange for zoning them, preventing them from getting experience, preventing them from getting last hits, and giving you experience last hits, everything. But in a normal laning circumstance, you should try to think of it as every trade is you and the other guy. So what would you say the best way to deal damage at level 1 is?
Typically with most heroes, it is to right click out of the range of creeps. And that way you're not wasting any of your mana. You're waiting for those spells to get stronger, but you're just, trading with them with right click.
Yes, right clicks is the big thing. And that is the weakness in your laning stage, is your confidence to right click, basically. Is that's you're not abusing your hero's body, is what you're not doing. You are abusing their spells consistently, but you're not well abusing their body. And part of this comes down to the items you buy. What is the typical item that you would buy if you play, let's say, Ogre Magi?
Okay.
What's your starting
now,
items?
This is different, though. It depends on who I'm laning against.
Okay.
But if I have another support, I'll get Tangos, a Stout Shield, and an Orb of Venom because he's a thick boy. But if I'm not playing against a weak lane, I'll go for the Soul Ring with like a regen. I'll start off with in some.
So why would you rush?
Tangos.
Why would you rush Soul Ring against a harder lane? Because when you say they're not weak, that basically means they're harder. They're harder to fight, right?
If I don't think that I could get away with running up and slapping them, then I have to assume that I can just get away with casting as many ignites as possible. That is the plan. Why
would you not right clicking? Why would you stop right clicking them just because they're harder to kill?
Because
when that's the best way to deal damage.
I mean, I don't know, Purge. I also kind of like how it looks when you ignite them all the time. I feel like it's more frustrating.
Get this. You can ignite them and right click them.
Okay. That's a good Purge.
And when you think about the context of trading, if you go to lane and you only have one set of tangos, you are fucking your lane. Because trading, think of it this way. Let's say I go to lane against you, and let's say we trade equally. You deal as much damage to me as I deal to you. I'm attacking you, auto-attacking, you're attacking me, auto-attacking. But I come to lane with 2 sets of tangos, and you only come to lane with 1 set of tangos. What happens when you run out of tangos?
Then you win. You have more regen, and then I'm out.
Yes.
So that's not good. But then why doesn't everyone just buy 12 tangos? Purge?
Well, almost everybody in the world does buy 2 sets of regen, except for Sir Action Slacks. He's the only one that only comes to lane with 1 set of tangos. So the only way that you ever go even in your lane, basically, and can continue to exert your body's presence, is if you have a 2-to-1 trade advantage. If you harass them twice as often as they do to you, that is the only way that you go even on regen. And it's made worse by the fact that you rarely buy Stout Shield, the best trading defensive item on melee heroes in the game. So if you're playing a melee support that can afford to buy a Stout Shield like Ogre Magi, that shit's god tier, because it makes your regen go farther. So that regen that you have purchased lasts longer, helps cover for mistakes. If you aggro creeps to you, it blocks pretty damn close to 100%, 50% of the time of creep damage, which is insane. So it makes your regen go farther, allows you to exert your hero's presence, and allows you to zone your opponents. Okay? So let's watch a replay now. Let's watch the Undying game that I played. Then we'll watch an Ogre game that I played. And then for comic relief, we'll watch one of the games you played right after that.
Okay, that's unfortunate, but sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's important to show the difference of laning pressure. So you used to play Undying a decent amount, but then you stopped. What was up with that?
I just think that it was just a meme hero for me. I like rushing Refresher on it and doing trying to get as many zombies as possible. Not really a big winner. When I really try hard on Dota, I typically stick to like 3 heroes. I find a hero that's good against magical lineups, a hero that's good against physical lineups, and I don't know what the fuck my team is doing. And that's usually what I did when I played ranked. Right. Yeah. So I was like Omni Knight if they're heavy on physical. I think I was like Shadow Shaman or something, or Tide Hunter or something when they were heavy on magical. And then I think I'm going to lose, I pick techies. And that's kind of how I ran my life. So, yeah.
Okay.
But things have changed. I have a much bigger hero pool now.
You do.
I can play a lot more heroes.
Yeah, you definitely have a bigger hero pool. You just need to refine itemization and skill build a little bit, I think is the end. Learn to use your body more. So how would you classify Undying as a hero?
I think Undying is a great hero for winning the early game and pressuring the other lane, but at the same time, it sucks. Because it constantly, with Q, constant harass, he could trade, he could dive towers, he could get big, but he sucks in mid to late game. And it's my opinion that typically in ranked, you're going to be playing with 4 people on your team that are worse than you if you think that you're better. So why trust them to end the game late when it's their turn? Undying is good at like ending early. So
okay, that doesn't make sense to me. That last point about if you think you're better, they must be worse. You should just assume that your MMR is your MMR kind of. And
no, Purge. You have to assume that you're better than everyone if you want to rank up. That is how it works.
I don't know if that one works, but
of course it works. Purge.
Look, Undying has fairly high strength. He's got pretty good movement speed at 301. You can buy a Stout Shield on the Mother Effer, which is pretty important because any creep damage or harass you take is going to be sucky. Do you see my starting items and why they're valuable?
Starting items, yes. You have a Stout Shield, a Tango, and 2 Mango. 2 Tangos,
and I gave one away. And then 2 Mangoes.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Why do I have 2 Mangoes instead of Clarity Potions?
Because you're a fighter and you want the regen. You want that static regen, and because you're never going to have time to pop a full time clarity anyway on them dying. You're constantly fighting.
Because if I'm pressing a clarity, it prevents me from trading and exerting my physical presence to force them out of the lane. If I go clarities and I pop a clarity and I sit behind the creep wave for 45 seconds, my carry has to get contested on last hits for 45 seconds. That is why almost no pro players buy clarity potions on supports right now, because it's better to always be ready to go so that they can continue to win the lane. That's why it's important, okay? Okay. So as great as clarities are, they're just kind of hard to ensure that you get them.
Yeah, I don't really use clarities too much anymore. So I have to admit that I have kind of moved on to mangoes for majority of my supporting with.
That's good.
Melee supports. Range supports are different.
Okay, so I'm running at them. I'm casting Decay, so their HP is lower. I think we got this first blood, if I remember. No, maybe not. No, it was later on. Do you see how I'm running at him all the fucking way over here? The reason is because now he has to run all the way back to the lane, and I know that's going to make his laning stage harder. And
hey, there's me!
There's you. Doing your stuff.
Great.
And now he's running this way for some stupid fucking reason, and look, I'm just going to keep fucking with him, because I know that I'm between him and the creep wave. If he wants to come to the creep wave, he has to deal with me. He has to TP, which is negative for him. I run back to the lane now. And now my purpose is, I want to fuck with him every time that he goes for a last hit after I buy my magic stick. Because I don't want to let him approach these things for free. And it's also really important that you guarantee range creeps. Range creeps are a huge amount of experience. You should be using your spells to guarantee the last hits on them and to not get them denied. It's like super important. So the reason I'm standing here is because this creep is 2 last hits away from being denied. And you kind of dancing around here, kind of confused what I'm doing, was bad. What you should have done was, we should have organized and said, like, now or something. And then both hit the range creep at the same time. Because look at this. As soon as I walk away, they're like, oh, shit, we got it. Easy. And then now that's going to delay our level 2. So that was one thing that you did poorly here. But you should try to focus on a little bit more in the future.
I do try to focus on range creeps a lot. I do know that they're super important, and denies are more important now. So.
It must have just been that moment then.
Yeah.
So as soon as I pull back from the creep wave, what I do is I run and wrap around the side. The reason you always want to approach from the side, as you know, is because you don't want to aggro creeps. There's basically a circle around the creeps. If I right-click an enemy hero while I'm in this circle, the creep will aggro to me. So when I want to attack, I want to swing past the creep wave to approach from the side. And by approaching from the side like this, they have to run away. And the only reason I can do this trade right here is because I have a stout shield. Creep waves are hitting me, but 50% of the time the stout shield blocks all the damage. And I know that I have way more damage than Lich, because I've got 8 strength here, so I'm hitting for 69. Lich has 56 damage, he's only got 1 armor, so he's just not going to trade as well. So I'm happy to stand here.
May I ask a question?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so can we talk about creep aggro? Because this is something that I have a lot of trouble with.
Yeah.
For example, Silencer, if he clicks on his glaive and he throws it, he doesn't get aggro.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, if you press the hotkey and left click your enemy hero, yes, you can. It's technically, it's like called orb walking in Dota 1. But yeah, Viper can do it, Huskar can do it, Silencer can do it. The reason that they don't aggro is because you aren't right clicking them. The creeps aggro from a right click, not from a left click. So even though it's technically an attack, you are left clicking the hero, therefore it doesn't aggro them.
Can I ask another question about aggro?
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, yeah. What?
All right. Towers. I get so confused with these because I know you A-click creeps if they're under tower and you don't want to get hit to de-aggro. But when does a tower decide to attack you if, like, I'm diving someone after under a tower?
So towers kind of have priority, basically. Let's say a tower kills the thing it's attacking. The next thing it will attack is the closest unit to it, is how it goes. And then after that target dies, it will attack the next closest. So if there's a creep wave under tower and you're outside, if I'm standing here and the creep is here, the tower is always going to attack the creeps first. That's why when you're diving tower, it's easy to run in with the creeps. When you right click an enemy hero, there's a big area basically for the tower. If one of their heroes ever gets right clicked while you are under that tower, it's going to pull the aggro basically. So if you right click an enemy hero under tower, the tower will change attacks to you. And then if it does that, you need to de-aggro by left click spamming on your creeps so that it goes back to attacking what's ever closest. But if you go back and right click the hero again, it's again going to aggro. So if you want to dive heroes, what you usually want to do is you kind of want to follow them into melee range, cast spells until it's like a better time to right click them.
Got it. All right.
It's sometimes a bit finicky. There are times that you can like attack heroes under tower. It's kind of based on like when the attack is coming out on the tower, kind of. There's like weird stuff that kind of goes on, so it's kind of a feel thing sometimes, but it's primarily about right clicks. Okay.
Thank you. All right, continue. Sorry.
No problem. So same thing. If he wants to come up and get last hits, it's also very good that you're standing in a good position. If you were sitting back here and last hitting, he's going to be more comfortable to come up and last hit, because basically what's happening is if this guy wants to get a last hit, he knows that he's going to be traded poorly. And the reason is because if you're doing your job and I'm doing my job, we're both right-clicking him. That's 2 hero right-clicks against his 1 right-click. He's losing regen trade.
Now, I don't want to be an asshole, but sometimes when I lane with you, I'll be doing a lot of that, like running at people and stuff, and you're very much more focused on getting last hits on creeps. So what is the right thing to do? To harass somebody or to focus on the last hits?
Last hits primarily. Like, it isn't... if you're about to get a last hit, you shouldn't right click him. For example, and if there's a deny that you need to get, you should probably get the deny. But it changes sometimes based on like if a hero is killable, if somebody's about to lose a trade really bad. Like let's say I'm over here and I get out of position and all of a sudden there's two heroes on top of me and they're both hitting me. You might need to like start walking over a little bit. That way they'll be scared like, oh shit, the Necro's going to be here. Now it's not going to be the best trade. He's going to use Death Pulse. I don't want to hit that with Death Pulse. Then they run away. So there's like small nuances that changes sometimes based on like how things are going for the support. But basically the support's job should be to never put himself in like a really bad position so that it forces the carry to shift over. So some of the times that you do stuff, I don't know, it's possible I haven't been watching perfectly and maybe I haven't been adapting correctly.
Or, I don't blame you.
You know, it could be something like that. Without seeing the exact example, it's hard to tell. So anyways, I'm just going to keep him back here. I don't give a shit about my levels. I'm basically putting my body between him and the creeps. I'm saying if you want to get last hits, you're gonna have to fight through me. So who do you think's been fucking up so far in this lane?
Me? No. I don't know.
No, you've been fine.
The other
Lich.
support. Yeah. Lich's job should be to make sure this shit isn't happening. People try to do this shit to me all the time when I have a soul ring. They try to zone me out, and I just fucking man up on them, and I try to out damage them and out regen them.
Exactly.
So Lich right now should be counterplaying you as a support. He should either be going on me, because he's up there already, or he should be going on you and trying to get rid of all your regen to make sure that you can't do this shit.
Exactly. He needs to force a 2v1 trade against me so that way it's not worth it for me to stand here anymore. Because if he's standing here with the Void and they're both hitting me, I can't really trade super well. I still can because I have a lot of decay stacks, and decaying on 2 heroes is still good, and I've got lots of tangos to spend, which would buy you time. But because he did a bunch of shit over here dicking around, yeah, I can basically solo zone him, and that gives you absolute free farm. So it's partially that I played well and partially that Lich played bad, is basically what happened here. At least up until this point.
This is pretty normal for me. One of my favorite heroes to play when I'm getting serious with support is Lion, because he's the best trader in the entire game, in my opinion. No. I love him. You can get damage with Spike. You can suck all the mana. You can right-click hard. He's great at this kind of shit.
How much health does Lion have at level 1 compared to other supports? Not a lot. How much armor does he have at level 1 compared to other supports?
Not a lot. But he could suck the mana. Mana's important.
You can drain 20 mana per second. You're right. Mana is important, but what's the best way to do damage level 1? Level 2, level 3.
Right-clicking.
Exactly.
Which is why on Witch Doctor, my initial starting items are 3 Fairy Fires, 4 Branches, and no HP because his right click is already so strong.
Do you have any tangos?
Maybe 1 tango. 1 stack of tangos. We'll move on. I shouldn't tell you this stuff. I'm here to learn. I'm not here to...
Witch Doctor has like 1 base armor. It's kind of... he's a better trader than Lion is, but... Like, compared to Undying or Ogre or something, like, that's why a lot of heroes have to get nerfed sometimes, because pro players, like, play heroes enough and they realize, like, oh, this hero's busted trading. Why would I pick anybody but Ogre with his fucking 8 armor and a stout shield and his 59 damage? Like, why would they pick anyone else? If like, you're trying to beat... Like, you can't beat an Ogre with Lion. It's just not going to work.
You could suck all of his mana. We'll move on, though. Don't worry about it.
You'd have to hit at least level 2. Probably level 3. You know, you're not making me mad. I'm telling you why what you're saying is wrong. Like, you can drain mana, but you'd have to get levels first to do that. What's happening at level 1 and level 2? Like, what's happening level 1? You're not draining his mana.
It's true. It's true. Well, sometimes I do go mana drain level 1.
Shut the fuck up. Never do that again. Do you know why that's bad?
I don't do that. I'm kidding. I just wanted to see your reaction. Let's move on.
All right, why is that bad? Why is it bad to get mana drain level 1?
Of course it's bad, because you can't trade. You can't do any damage, Purge. I'm not a dingo. It was a joke.
I know. I'm just trying to like explain things to make sure you understand the concept. When you stun a hero, they're not moving. They're not right-clicking, which means you get a trade advantage, right? You get like 1 or 2 free extra attacks without them being able to respond. That's like...
Sure.
You know, a tango advantage, basically. That's why stuns are better. So if you go 1-1-4, or if you go like 1-1-4 on Lion for your skill build, it's generally considered fucking garbage because...
What?
Yes, it's fucking garbage because...
What? Okay, go ahead.
Because you are heavily limiting your ability to stun or damage only to drain mana in a cheesy fucking way. Which, it's like, okay, you can cast your level 1 Earth Spike a lot, but it barely stuns them. It does like, I don't know, 80 damage or something.
Uh-huh.
1.4 second stun, 80 damage. That could be a 260 damage skill
Yeah.
at a 2.6 second stun.
Well, you know, you didn't like it very much when we did the Honda head-to-head, and I beat you at mid with it, Purge. But anyway, well,
Are you
we should
talking about the
move on.
game where I had an
No,
inverted mouse?
No, it's fine.
That one? Was that the game that you're referring to? Where every mouse movement was backwards that I did?
Okay.
Yeah, you did beat me that game. Nice, man.
Okay, I'll stop doing that online. I understand. The
Like-
support's job in the early game is to zone people out from getting last hits. It's to secure the range creep, and it's to deal damage. And the best way to deal damage is
With
not
good
by getting
trades.
creep aggro with good trades on right-clicking. I got
Yes.
it, buddy.
Okay.
I'm here to learn. I got it.
Okay. That's basically, we don't need to watch any more of this replay then. Okay, we'll
Really?
go hop in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the concept is basically shown. Let me show you a different one though.
Well, I would like to get a little bit more on creep aggro because I feel like that is one of my biggest problems,
Okay.
especially when I'm playing a range support. So constantly when we play together, you say, hey, you should be over here right-clicking stuff
Yes.
instead of where I'm at. How do you get a good feel of where good creep aggro is? Is it just through practice? Is there like a special thing that you use to know that you're not going to aggro?
So, oops, that was a print screen, not what I meant to press. Okay, so let me just unpause.
Okay.
So here's basically there's a circle on the creep. It's like this.
Yeah.
Let's try. What I'm gonna do is put an enemy over here. You can aggro creep no matter where you click heroes from. So if I want to aggro this range creep, I can do this, for example. See?
Yeah. And I use this all the time on Axe. If you want to
Exactly.
get quick
With-
you just click on someone on the other side of the map and all the creeps hit you.
Exactly, without having to use Berserker's Call. That's exactly right. So basically there's, if we imagine the circles that the enemy creep wave is giving off, it's basically like kind of this like kidney bean shape here, and then like 2 more circles here. So if there's a hero that's kind of running back and forth, and there's like an area like this, you know how I can do this? I can put a bunch of fucking wards on the ground or something. I don't know. If this is
Beautiful.
basically my area, and I want to harass in here, this
Yeah.
basically means that the closest I can get without getting aggroed is here. So you kind of, this is why you usually want to approach from the sides, especially on like a safe lane or off lane, is because if you're in the trees, it's easier to like hit the side angles and get behind people. Because if somebody comes up to last hit, now I'm behind them. So if they want to retreat to the tower, they have to run this way while I'm attacking them, attack moving multiple times. I assume you know about attack moving. You're canceling your animation after you throw your attack. Then you move while you're waiting for your next attack, you know? Do you understand that?
What's that now?
Okay.
No.
So every hero has an animation.
Yes.
It's the time that it takes to throw their attack, and then watch the moment after my attack leaves my weapon, okay? And then see what the hero does with animation. Boom. See this like extra swing he's doing with this shit?
Yeah.
I can just cancel that. It doesn't fucking matter. That's called a backswing. Once that attack gets thrown, I start moving my hero every time.
Whoa! That's fucking crazy. I'm sorry for cursing, but wow, I had no idea you could do that stuff. Your character moves so much faster if you just insta cancel it. Is that why the pro players are always tippity tapping in all the time?
Yes. That is why.
Okay, great.
Because they're canceling their animations. If I stand here and auto attack while this guy runs away, see all this time that my hero's standing still?
Wow, I never knew this. This is
See all
crazy.
this shit? See how he's just standing still?
Yeah, that's me. I'm just standing
Yes.
still. I didn't know you could do that.
So basically, you can increase the amount of times that you right-click somebody while they're running away from you by like 30 to 40% if you do this correctly.
Holy shit, my witch doctor's gonna get so much better. This is great.
If you get something like an Orb of Venom, I'm not a melee hero, but let's switch to like Ogre or something. Let's switch to Ogre. I know you like playing Omni Knight with Orb
Yes.
of Venom, very similar here. Let's watch Axe running away. Okay, let's do a test. Okay, we'll stand right here and we'll see how many attacks I can get until he gets like here or something, with and without attack moving. Okay,
Got it.
so this is without attack moving.
Yeah, this looks pretty
All right,
normal to me.
let's reset this. I need boots probably to have a little bit of a movement advantage, and I'll go Bloodlust. Okay, ready? Here we go.
It's a lot. All right, go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I got about 4 attacks to get to here. Okay.
Got it.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you
Oh my
see?
god! So
And didn't it seem like I was basically the same movement speed as him?
yes. Now to do that, do you have to press S every time,
Nope.
or do you just?
You can
Oh, you just move.
You can interrupt
Oh.
you can interrupt your animations with S. You can interrupt them with a right click. Normally, if you're attack moving, it's
Oh.
right click.
Okay, I thought you taught me something much crazier. I do that all the time. I just like randomly keep trying to click as many times as possible. That's
But
the same thing.
importantly, you didn't understand what it was. I
Yes.
think is important because there's probably times that you were right clicking. So if I come in to gank the mid lane, like you should basically think of a moment where you're behind them as a huge advantage because that gives
Right.
you more time to right click. Or to attack move chase them because you're being more efficient with your movements. Like if I'm a ranged hero, I can fucking attack move this guy until like I can get so many right clicks in on him while he's escaping.
Right.
It's a mobility advantage thing. It makes things like boots, wind lace, that kind of a thing more advantageous.
And that's something that I commonly do as a ranged support.
Exactly.
I'll get melee heroes to come at me, and then I'll stand my ground. And while they're running away from me, realizing that they can't win, you get like 4 or 5 extra right clicks. It's great.
Exactly. But making sure that you cancel your attack animation is hugely advantageous. When your attack speed's higher, it's less noticeable. But at like level 1, level 2, like first 6 levels or something, it's a huge deal for trading. Because if they do start running away, yeah, you get extra right clicks. You can also cancel your spell animations.
Of course.
What is a good example of this? Crystal Maiden probably is.
I
pretty good.
love doing this on Omni Knight and Kunkka, of course, for torrents, just making them paranoid all the time. Also,
No,
if you
that's
do
not
it
what
with
I meant,
the...
but.
Oh, no?
Yeah, you can like trick them and make them like guess where you think you're gonna cast spells. Like, oh, I can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna frostbite. Nope, just kidding. But it's
Also,
mostly
if you do this with techies in the elephant, it looks like you're humping them.
exactly.
cool.
Isn't that one like a movement animation cancel or something?
Nope, it's suicide. It's just, you can
Suicide, I
just
see.
plow it. Yeah, it's
So,
great.
but watch CM's animation here when I cast Crystal Nova.
Okay.
You see this extra like shit that she did?
Yeah.
It could instead be instant right click.
Whoa!
You can cancel that in the same way: moving,
Yes.
right clicking, or pressing S.
I think one of the heroes that I see that the most on is Lena. She has such a huge backswing on all of her abilities, and it tricked me a lot because it's like you think that you can't cast shit as quick as you can. I always waited for her animation to stop, but just try that a little bit.
Yeah,
Do like one of her skills. Her
So
backswing's
the
fucking crazy.
Easiest way to test this out is to shift Q everything.
What is shift Q?
Shift Q is when I do multiple action. You hold shift, so I can basically tell Lena to run here, and then shift. I'm holding shift while I right click. So you see these little flags? This is new, but it basically tells her to go on a decided path, basically. So
Why would anyone do that? That's lazy as hell. Who knows what's going to happen by the time?
It's really valuable for times that you're juking, for example, because you could do stuff like think like, okay, I want to cut into this tree and juke, and then start a TP. So let's say, or I want to cut this tree and then TP. So I would run in here. You'd have to like click this, and then you'd have to start walking in, which is slower than if I had done this. I'm gonna walk here, cut this tree, go like this. See how fast that is? Because
pretty good.
It automatically does the movement as soon as the tree is cut because my task is complete. Okay.
Okay.
That it's situational. It's helpful in times like that. Or if I'm teleporting, I want to start moving right away. Boom! Instantly starts moving. No chance that I interrupt my TP accidentally. Okay.
Yeah,
So back,
Earthshakers do this, right? They blink and shift
Sand
like
Kings.
Echo Flame and shit. Yeah.
Sand Kings more because they can shift Q epicenter because you don't want to interrupt it before it finishes channeling because if you do, it cancels it.
I got it.
Okay, animation canceling. Let's do shift Q here. I'm shift queuing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that was like normal speed.
Uh-huh.
Alright, and here is regular speed. That's
Okay.
canceling animations because I'm basically casting them as soon as they get, as soon as they're possible. So yeah.
Got it. So, okay, that just makes it easier. I've been doing kind of that manually, just cast it constantly, like,
Yeah, that's why you hear pro players spamming buttons a lot because they're trying to maximize the animation cancel. Because otherwise, everything comes out slower. It affects things, you know. So you can do the same for both animations and attacks. Okay, so we got that. Cool. Yeah, I think you understand the Sand King thing. I don't need to show that.
Yeah, no, I get it because you see people cancel Epicenter all the time because they think that it's done, then
Yeah,
they go for the stun.
exactly.
Shift means it makes sure that it has to finish that action before it can do something else.
Exactly. And the way
Cool.
that the only time I ever mess it up sometimes is if I think I'm holding shift, but really I'm hitting control or something can affect it. And then I am not as likely to, then it might get interrupted.
Yeah, but no, I completely get it.
Holding
would like to
shift,
see it,
left
though.
clicking, take my hands off the keyboard, it auto blinks as soon as it's done.
Nice. Okay, cool. Good to know.
T, hold shift, clicking blink dagger, and then you can do everything else as needed. Cool. All right. So that is animation stuff. That is super important. Where's that ogre example that I did? I don't think you're in this game. Let me remember. Maybe you were? No, this is a different game that I played. I think I played Ogre 5 here, if I remember correctly. And I just wanted to show... Oh, I remember this is actually a pretty decently high level game. It was against like other mortals and stuff. And I had a laning stage and I thought it'd be a good example to show.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, so here's my starting items. I was lucky and able to start with 2 tangos. Normally when I play Ogre I only get like... I have to give the 2 away, but I think somebody... No, I just... Okay, never mind. Still have 4. Okay, if I'm playing 5 Ogre, this is usually what I start with.
Yeah.
Stout Shield to make all of my regen go farther, including my high base regen. 4 tangos left over, 2 giving to my mid. And then the mango so that I can get a little bit of regen, but also, if I need mana, get it. Why do you think I get Bloodlust level 1?
Ooh, I know why you would get it is because you're maximizing the your friendly carry's ability to get last hits and to make things happen. However, that's very against my philosophy because Ignite does so much damage and it slows and you can Orb of Venom chase people. It's very good.
Well, I can't Orb of Venom chase people because it's too expensive as a 5. Because I have to buy wards and courier and give tangos to my mid.
All right.
So I can't do that.
Bloodlust?
I get blood, and I don't bloodlust my carry at level 1 either.
Oh.
The purpose of Bloodlust is to turn my hero into a right-clicking monster, basically. Look at my movement speed. I have 292 movement speed. I've got amazing armor. I've got amazing regen. I've got amazing damage. But what does this matter if everybody's faster than me? It prevents me from being able to utilize my strong, beefy body because I just don't have the movement speed to chase them down. But if I have a Tango and a Stout Shield and Bloodlust, watch my movement speed when I turn it on. Now I'm running at 315. So I gave myself, 23 movement speed? I give myself 23 movement speed. I give myself 30 attack. And now this lets me win trades. Because now I'm attacking every 1.18 seconds. He's attacking every 1.27. So now I just attack faster than I would have otherwise. So now I can just run him down. And now look at how he has to spend his time.
Yeah.
Because he knows that if I get into melee range, I've got 8 fucking armor. He has 2. I deal like 50% more damage than he does. And here's the same thing against Pangolier. So basically in this game, I was lucky in that they had a shitty dual lane. Both of these heroes are weak at trading. Pango has 540 health, kind of low armor. Mirana has 540 health, low armor, low damage. So I can just 2v1 zone.
I'm going to say something that's going to upset you, but I do want to actually know. So isn't Ignite even better, though? Because you still deal damage to Mirana. And you could get denies on your creeps while your carry's getting last hits. And, you know... No, I mean, it gives you space. See, you had to chase Mirana that whole time, which got you out of the action zone.
Yeah.
And you could have been denying creeps. You could have been
Well, I don't really need to deny creeps, because if I zone both of these guys, Nick can deny all the creeps and get all the last hits, right?
All right.
If there's nobody contesting last hits and denies, carries can get 80%. They can get like 75% at least of denies and 100% of the last hits if nobody's there. That's easy, right?
I understand. So it's hard for me to learn to sacrifice, because what you just showed me was great. You chase somebody out of the lane, but then you weren't getting XP from the creeps, which hurts your game too.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that, like, if you really chase them and get them out of the lane,
yeah, of course,
you're losing some stuff, and that's something I don't do. So.
But I have the same levels as Jug. Yeah, I've definitely noticed. That's one of the things I notice when I dual lane with you is I'm always under leveled as a carry, because you never leave experience, but it's better to do that sometimes. But like, I see your point about Ignite. Oh, I can ignite them and they're going to take damage, and now I can deny. But the reality is that you're not preventing them from approaching the creep wave by doing that necessarily.
Yeah.
You have to harass the big damage dealer, which is your right click. Because Ignite is great. Level 1, it deals 130 damage. But after magic resistance, that is actually only dealing 130 times 0.75. It's dealing 97.5 damage to them over 5 seconds. And it costs you 90 mana. There's a chance that the second Ignite will hit one of your creeps, which is going to push the lane, which isn't necessarily good. So yeah, if you hit 2 heroes with it, it's pretty good. But what's more important is that I can do this shit. I can just bully the shit out of these guys with my high regen. Do you see how I stayed to the right as the creep wave came past?
Yep,
Because I hadn't
that.
aggroed yet, so I didn't want to... And once they're now attacking enemy heroes, then it's fine. So I'm kind of just playing on the side, because I don't want the creeps to aggro to me. I want them to continue attacking creeps, so that Nick can get last hits. And once in a while, I will right-click within the creep wave. By the way, if you're standing here and somebody's in the creep wave, if you right-click them, like if I'm standing here and I right-clicked him, by the time I get there and right-click him, it won't aggro, because I right-clicked him when I was outside the aggro range, okay? So that's why when I hit pot him there, it didn't aggro the creeps to me.
Can I see that? Is that...
Yeah.
All right.
I'll go to player perspective, too.
Cool.
Right-clicked him right there, or earlier. I de-aggroed just in case, but they didn't aggro to me. And now I'm running wide, because I want to right-click again.
Okay.
I aggroed the range creep there accidentally. I de-aggroed here. De-aggroed again because the creeps were attacking me.
How do you de-aggro? You A-click one of your creeps or what?
Yes, I'm pressing A and left-clicking one of my creeps. Or you
See,
can
I
A
only knew
left-click
that
one of
worked
my
for...
heroes.
I only knew that about towers. I didn't know you could do that with creeps too.
Yep.
That's very...
It only works with creeps if there's something within their range to attack. So if I'm standing here and this range creep is attacking me and I de-aggro, it'll de-aggro to this creep because there's something within its range to attack, similar to a tower. But if I'm the only one under a tower and I try to de-aggro, shit's not going to work, right? Because there's nothing else to attack.
Okay. All right, neat.
And look, this guy's right-clicking me. That's fine, dude. Here's the other reason that Bloodless is better. It's just a lot cheaper mana-wise. It's 65 instead of 90. Like,
of course.
Going Soul Ring on Ogre right now basically just doesn't work very well because the hero has... Like, before, Ogre had he had good movement speed, and he had all that other good shit, good armor, good regen, good health. So you could get away with just being a spellcaster because, like, Fire Blast was good damage, Ignite was still amazing, and Bloodlust just wasn't as important. But now, because his movement speed is low, you kind of need to get Bloodlust to help make up for the fact that his movement speed is too low, because otherwise you can't well leverage the fact that you have high health and armor. So the way that you're trying to play Ogre is basically out of meta now because Ice Frog nerfed his movement speed, is what happened. And so you're basically thinking, like, I'm going to play Ogre like a guy that has 2 nukes, which is cool. It's cool to have 2 nukes like Crystal Maiden has because it means you can do more burst damage. But his int pool is shit. So you're kind of like trying to force Ogre down a path that isn't ideal, basically. It kind of works, but it's not like the best way to play him is sometimes what you have to realize about heroes. And it hurts sometimes, but it's just the reality. See, I'm just bullying the fuck out of these guys. The bottom should be right-clicking me this whole time. He finally did start right-clicking me, but look how many tangos I've used so far.
Yeah, nothing. You just the regen with the Stout Shield. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I think you and I have basically the same kind of idea. I would ignite people and chase them with Orb of Venom because I was so slow. I needed both those things to catch them.
Yes.
But yours is much more efficient. It's less mana, it's less items, and you could do it more often. So, makes sense as to why it's more successful.
I haven't cast Fire Blast yet, and look at my mana pool. It's not bad, and I've still got the Mango if I really need it. I will cast Fire Blast eventually if it could be something like Jug is spinning on a guy that's about to leap away, because then it's going to give us a big trade advantage. Or if I Fire Blast him, but it gives me and Nick like 4 right clicks on this guy, that's really good, because then I'm spending mana to guarantee damage. But I'm not just going to like say, hey, I'm trying to zone this guy out of lane. Let's spam my Fire Blast if it's ready, because I'm trading 75 mana for 60 damage, which isn't a good trade. I want to trade stun mana for stuns that give me like 3 or 4 right clicks. That's valuable. Or I'm going to spend mana that's going to harass my opponent. Like if I'm Crystal Maiden, I want to cast Nova. The reason I tell you to get Nova is because it harasses my opponents while guaranteeing last hits.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool. Makes sense.
Okay, so
I just like, I was always a fan of just seeing the health bar go down. That's all I cared.
I get that, and I understood that over time. I get why you like Soul Ring. It's in concept, you're genuinely on the right path. It's just you are forgetting the other important aspects, which is making sure that your regen goes farther so that you can continue being an annoying asshole. Because when you rush Soul Ring, not only does it jack the courier, but it also means you don't have boots for a long time. You haven't bought observer wards that could help. You haven't bought a magic stick, which is godly. Like magic stick, if you're playing a support that wants to win these trades, it should always be a fast magic stick purchase. Because then if they ever cast spells back at you, shit, you just got 15 more mana, 15 more health that you can now use to cast Bloodlust another, like, 2 times or something.
Right. Okay, I don't know why you love magic sticks so much. It makes sense.
It's so good. It's you can buy from the side shop.
Why heal me when I can hurt them was my life before, but now I get it. Because if you can outlast with your own health, it's better than making their health worse. I get it.
Which I mean, it's the same thing. You're still making their health worse. You're just giving yourself more mana to do that is all.
Right, you're just doing that for longer. See, that was my thing, is like, I always get people to leave the lane, and then they come back. Like, on the 3rd time that they come back, I'm just out of shit. So then what do I do? You know? So it's kind of good, but kind of not great, because it's not as long as your kind of harasses.
Okay, do you remember this game?
Is this the one where you fed Ursa like 17 times?
Yep.
I cannot wait for you to tell me why the fuck that happened, Purge. Let's go. Here we go.
All right, so you see your items.
Yeah.
You got a ring of regen. You got a gauntlet. What does the gauntlet give you, stat-wise?
I don't know, but it does build a soul ring, so that's good.
It should give you. I can't remember. They changed it so many times now. Is it 20 per health or 18? I think.
Can't you just hover
20.
over it?
No, that doesn't work anymore. You'd have to like drop the item and pick it up. I can't remember. It's basically like 60 health. It's either 56 or 60 health. 20? Okay, it's 20. 60 health. So it increases your max HP by 60. That's it. Doesn't give you damage. 60 health.
It could be a picture of a dingaling for all I care. It
19?
builds in the soul ring. That's what I want, baby.
I get that. Hey, you got Bloodlust. Sick.
Yeah, you told me to. It is fucking worthless, but that's because I didn't have a stout shield.
Yeah, so it would have helped. Hey, another gauntlet. And what do you do? Did you bring it on the courier? No, you probably wait. Okay, so let's watch your hero positioning and see how you utilize your hero.
This Oracle was so good at positioning shit. All right.
All right, they got the first deny. All right, you're going for denies, which is good.
Great deny me.
Great deny slacks. You haven't cast Bloodlust yet?
No, I didn't know what it was for. I thought I was supposed to Bloodlust you.
Oh, that's right, and then we lane swapped. I forgot about this. Okay, but...
Oh, yes, and then the great feed top.
Exactly. All right, see what happens with this aggro here. You cast Bloodlust on yourself. You right-click the Oracle. Yep. See the creeps?
And then, boom, the creeps go straight on me. Yeah, because I'm right next to the creeps. Really bad place to aggro. And then every time that the creeps are trying to hit me, they're not hitting our creeps, and our lane pushes.
This is where you're like, well, am I supposed to come top? And I said, yes.
Okay. I cannot wait for you to explain this first death on Ursa. Please explain to me what the fuck you were doing.
All right, do you see what's happened in the last, like, 10 seconds?
Yes, I've done nothing. I'm staying behind the creeps. I'm not harassing them at all. They're right-clicking us, but this is a very high damage lane.
And what has happened? And what has happened to me in that meantime? Let's count the amount of times Sky attacks me. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a there's 2 spells. 10.
What is this? Why
I don't know.
Did you do this?
I'm really confused. From watching your perspective, yeah, I'm really confused. I remembered what I was doing in the moment.
Do that,
that was really bad. Totally. I totally.
Can I watch it one more time?
Yeah, sure. Let's watch it from my perspective. I seem to remember I was like trying to click, so I basically got to hear it, and I wanted to bully this guy, but then because he double nuked me, I knew I was fucked at this point. So I was running south to try to like do something, and then I basically had to turn and fight to the death. That's basically what happened. I wanted to get behind him to bully him a little bit because I like fighting in the lane, but
then he went back in.
Well, I mean, I was gonna die at that point. I needed to. I mean, maybe I could have like ran this way for a while, perhaps, and then you died too. But essentially, the point of this is, like, by all means, that was garbage, and I think I TP'd back and died again or something.
Yeah, about 3 more times. But I understand what you're saying. What happened was because of my shit build,
and your position. It's mostly your position.
Well, I couldn't take those hits without a stout shield, so you're completely right.
You could.
What the fuck was that, Purge?
That was me. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. That was me dying stupidly.
Right. Yeah.
But it's look at your items that you have.
It's terrible items. You're right. I can't trade at all.
You still have all of your tangos.
That's true.
You didn't even eat a tango because you weren't really in danger at any point until the fight hit the fan.
Got it.
So let's go back and watch that moment and then try to tell me where you think you should have been positioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, you're TPing top. Okay.
Yeah.
Where should you be positioned right now?
Well, definitely not running behind the creeps. I should be running towards the Skywrath or something. The problem is, though, again, is that this is just a super high damage lane, so I don't even know if Ogre could bully these two guys, but it would have been better to try.
Again, it's not about you winning the lane.
It's about them stopping from hitting you, right?
Yes, because that gives me the space to get easy last hits, to not run out of regen as rapidly, to make our lane more bearable. Because if I can sit passive and farm a Boots of Speed or something, all of a sudden Slark gets in a really dangerous position, because then I can now chase him down, even if with Essence Shift, which is a huge advantage, right? Like, imagine if I get a fast Boots of Speed and you Bloodlust me. Now Slark trading hits with me is scary for him, because he knows that if we want to commit to try to kill him, we can run him down, you know?
Yeah, I got it.
So the place you should have been is probably over here. That way you run at the sky a little bit, and he has to be like, well, I have to run away from Ogre, because if Ogre hits me, I've got fucking 0 armor. 0.2 fucking armor. Or he has to use Arcane Bolt on you with your, let's check, 8 fucking health regen without using a single tango.
Yes. All right. Noted. So my position is god-awful. I'm behind the creeps. I'm not even doing anything. I'm actually aggroing the creeps towards not hitting the creep sometimes. It's terrible. I should be up in their faces with all that beefy thickness.
You've ignited the Slark, which is good and all, but yeah, basically not much is being accomplished. Oh, this was very painful to watch, but yeah, it was my fault.
Yeah. It was both of our faults. My positioning was awful.
And
sorry, Purge.
And the other issue is that my health was already low before it even started, kind of. Like,
yeah.
This is before Sky had casted a single spell, and I had been probably eating tangos this whole time, I would guess. Maybe not. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, I was eating tangos this whole time, and when the fight started, I was already at 500 health.
Yeah.
Whereas, imagine if I had full health when that fight began instead. Because this is why I knew I was fucked, basically. When he comboed me, I was like, oh shit. I'm at 300 health already. I knew I was fucked. But if I was like here, maybe I kill Slark, you know? It's possible.
Much different game then too for us, so
exactly.
Makes perfect sense.
Then I don't die 5 times in lane, maybe. Maybe. Then we don't super feed, and then what happens is I get into these positions because I'm like, like what I explained as after we lost this game very poorly. I'm really bad at like looking around and like taking note of how everybody else is kind of performing. I kind of just play in the moment with feeling. So sometimes when you do things that I don't expect, I just do stupid shit because I'm expecting you to behave a different way. And that's my fault for not checking to see like, oh, look, I didn't realize I've been missing 200 health. Now I'm going to do something aggressive. That's stupid, you know. I'm just like expecting it to go okay because, you know, I lane with Day 9 a lot, for example. I've molded him to do these things already. So now I just expect them to happen and I can kind of just play without thinking. So it's my fault for not thinking, and that's why some games I super feed with you, and then you say negative things, and it like makes me more tilted, and then I play further worse and keep doing dumb shit. So I think that's why when we lane together, sometimes it goes just like catastrophically awful.
And I think that also explains my playstyle with you too, because when you have just Soul Ring, and you just have to hit your spell, and that's it, and you're not worrying about harassing other people, staying out of the creep aggro. I have nothing to do but look at everybody else, right? Because I'm not doing anything. I'm just fucking spamming a spell and then waiting 8 seconds. So that makes complete sense now as to why sometimes we have problems, is because I have nothing to do but watch you, and you are only focused on yourself. So it's like the opposite.
And try not, and it always feels like I'm laning against 2 heroes by myself, is what it feels like. Because there's 2 people contesting me from last hitting, 2 people potentially right-clicking me. If I ever want to go for a trade, it's always me versus 2, other than the fact that you're throwing spells, which is good, but again, right-clicking is a lot of damage. And the next thing that happens is that because you were standing behind, you're always there in lane. You don't often pull, which is generally a negative.
Now, okay, can we talk about pulling in general?
That's exactly what I want to talk about. What do you got?
So here's my thought on pulling. Pulling is great if you could do the double pull. But in my opinion, all of it is risk. You know? If you fuck up the double pull, then it pushes. And what if they kill your carry while you're pulling? And all this other shit. I mean, the benefit of pulling, to me, is not worth the risk. That's how I feel. I'd never pull. It's worthless.
It's not worth. It's not worthless.
Worthless.
Okay, part of your explanation is already meta old. Pulling through is not even that important these days. The reason is because of dual lanes. The reason pulling through before was fucking scripture in the Bible was because back in the day when it was tri-lane versus one hero, your lane setup would basically be carry gets all the last hits and keeps the creep wave really safe to the tower here, while the offlaner has to run like all this way to get back to safety. So what offlaner's trying to do is trying to fuck up the creep equilibrium so that the creep wave would naturally push and he gets the last hit under the tower. He's like, oh shit, I can get last hits, I can get experience, even though there's 3 heroes in my lane. So that's why you don't want to mess up equilibrium. So if you pulled and you fucked up your pull through, it was really bad because then the carry can't do anything. The wave is pushing, offlaner gets experience, and all of a sudden his game is opened up. But if the creep wave stays here and the offlaner was stuck at level 1 standing here while 2 supports are like boop boop, like fucking try getting near the lane, dude. That's basically what supports would do in the past with 2 heroes while the carry's over here. But now that it's not a try versus solo situation, it's now dual lanes. Dual lanes means that it's about trading, who runs out of regen first, and who can camp the wave. Like in your Necro game, you were the only person that was hitting the creep wave. You basically had the potential to get every last hit and every deny. I prevented them from getting any last hits and only some experience. So basically they had really bad levels. They had no gold gain compared to you, which means that after you gain like 1,000 gold advantage, like a boots and like 1 damage item, you could basically mean that I could leave the lane while you're a Necro and you'd be able to like probably stomp them in the lane from there on out. You should be able to get most of the last hits. They should be kind of fucked in the lane. They would need help. So if you can't like stay in the lane and contest and get last hits at a good amount, you're having a really bad time basically. Is how the game works right now because of the nature of the denies and things like that. So with that said, it's basically like a tug of war of gold gain in the lane. If I can't contest last hits, it's bad. So what that means is that pulling through doesn't matter as much anymore because it's not necessarily about where the creep wave is. It's about who's getting resources from the wave. How many last hits do you get from every wave? How much experience are you getting from every wave? Are your creeps getting denied? Okay, so it's more about that and from a function of trading. So with that said, pulling is now good. And the reason is because this is more resources. Do you know how much experience is in an average small camp?
No.
It's about 100.
It's small. It's not very much.
It's about 100.
Creep is simply 50.
Sorry?
I don't know how much creep is. I just guessed.
Okay. Smart. All right, here's the amount of experience it takes to hit level 2 as any hero. It takes 230 experience. That means if you pull and you are the only hero here when the small camp gets killed, you gain about 100 experience.
Well, I thought they nerfed that, where if something kills a creep and it ain't you don't get as much stuff.
So that is the lane creeps dying.
Oh.
So for example, if I do a pull here, and the lane creeps are here fighting the small camp, and some of them die to the neutrals, if there's no enemy hero around, it doesn't matter. That experience is removed from the map now. So even if you do a pull and one of your creeps dies, it's still pretty good. Because that creep can't be last hit, of course, but also no enemy hero is going to get experience from it.
Well, of course, I know that, but I just didn't know that you got the XP from the dead creep.
I didn't. I made that sound like that was the point, but I'm kind of just setting up the next one. If the Skywrath is over here while that creep gets killed by a neutral, he gets less experience now as a result. Was the change. Originally, like 5 years ago, if a neutral last hit a lane creep at all, the experience was fucking gone. Actually, like completely gone. So it's actually bad then to deny your own creeps if an enemy is nearby, because that would count the same as if they were denied over here, you know? So, but now basically denying creeps is good even if an enemy is nearby because you get a little bit of gold. But the difference, I'm pretty sure the difference between a neutral killing a creep and you denying a creep when an enemy hero is near is pretty similar, is my understanding. But ultimately the point is any creeps that die here away from the enemy heroes is really good because that means they're going to level slower. And any time that you are near these creeps to get the experience of the creeps dying is good for you because then you get more experience because there's only 4 creeps that spawn every 30 seconds. If my carry's in the lane getting all of these experiences and I'm over here in this jungle getting all of this experience, we're going to get more experience together.
That makes
Do you see?
perfect sense. Yes.
So this is why
Pulling is good.
This is why I'm always underleveled when I lane with you, because
Right.
you sit behind the lane, you only cast spells, you don't exert your body, so I'm always fighting for last hits, meaning I'm getting less last hits and more creeps denied against me.
Yep.
And you never pull, so basically you're just like reducing the amount of levels that I can gain. Whereas if you do a good job as support, your carry can like hit level 6 really fast. Hi, dog. You can hit level 6 before like 8 minutes or something. Like a lot of times I'll look up at the clock and I'll be like level 5 at almost 10 minutes, and my carry will be like level 7, level 8. And every level advantage that they have is going to help them be more comfortable in their lane, basically.
Yes.
So imagine all of your pub games that you're playing in the past. You're sitting in these dual lanes, you're gimping your carry a little bit, you're never pulling, they have less levels, and then you're leaving the lane finally to go gank, and then you get mad at them when they die. And the reason that's happening is because you are fucking them a little bit by not exerting your body, by underleveling them, and then forcing them to, with these underlevels, do well. But if you do a good job zoning them, making sure they can get every last hit and deny, pulling occasionally, then you can ditch them in lane, and they're going to be even in a better place because they have extra levels on their opponents who are zoned, so they'll have a gold advantage. They'll have 2 extra levels. That's more damage from their skills. And now it's okay to leave them. They'll die less. That kind of a thing.
This explains to me kind of now your thought process on some of our laning things. The strength of playing how I play is that once in a while we're going to get kills. And sometimes I'll have 4 kills and 0 deaths. But you'll still be mad because we're both underleveled. But to me, I'm like, we won. We fucking killed him a bunch of times. That's great. However, kills don't really matter too much in the early game, right? If you can get more solid XP, more farm, the other 2 guys they didn't die, but they didn't get any XP or money. It's kind of better than killing them. So this makes sense as to why you're constantly upset, even though I'm on killing sprees. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
More or less. Like you're right that getting kills is definitely very good, but it's definitely like I would rather have free farm for 2 or 3 minutes. Like I would rather have free farm for a whole minute. Like if they're not in the lane at all, we are stomping. That's how it goes basically. If they aren't in the lane contesting and getting last hits and denies, then we are fucking stomping. So like the best, like when I play with Day 9 sometimes, probably like, I don't know, 30 to 40% of the games, we fucking stomp because we lane really well. They have to leave the lane, and I get all the last hits and denies. We get the tower really easy. I'm massively ahead. Their carry is jungling because that's all he can do. That's like a mega stomp. But you can get that many kills, like you're referring to, like 4 kills. We can get that while doing good lane things. And if you do that, you like fucking make those enemy heroes useless for at least like 5 to 10 minutes, unless they go and get kills. Okay?
I gotta expand past murder. That's all I care about is killing.
Murder is murder is still good. You just need to put your body on the line a little bit, is all.
Well, that's some masochist murder shit, but I'll do that. Okay, sure. We can make that happen, buddy. Okay. All right.
So, what do you want to do next? Do you want to play solo while I watch you? Do you want to... I'm not ready to play with you yet.
Wait, I've been nothing but kind and agreeing.
But... I gotta let's get you refined a little bit first. This is a lot of concepts.
All right.
I'm
not ready to play with you yet. We play every day, you piece of shit. Okay, sure, whatever.
No, this is going very good, but let's watch you one game.
All right. Are we gonna actually play ranked, or should I start on unranked?
Let's do some unranked first. If you share your... Oh, I can just watch live. Yeah, go ahead and watch live. I can use Dota Plus to watch you live, I think.
I think we should just rip off the Band-Aid. I think I should go ranked. I haven't played ranked in almost 2 years.
You play like a few unranked games until you feel comfortable, then start playing ranked. That's all.
Okay.
Play ranked first. What hero are you going to play?
I don't know. I'm support. I got a counter pick.
Okay, that's fair. So,
oh, maybe I should do random. Maybe I should purge it up, huh? You piece of garbage. But
well, you see, I random when I play unranked because I don't give a shit about unranked.
Well, I do. When you can't play ranked because you're too scared.
I don't know. I feel like that's
every
you
game
problem.
Matters. That's a me problem.
Every unranked game matters.
Every unranked game matters when you're too scared to play ranked Purge. It's pathetic.
Can we be in a party?
It's like caring about turbo games.
Can we be in a party together while I coach you? Does that work?
Yeah, I think that
Oh,
works.
okay, let's try.